The DJ says. Charles, I'll turn it down enough. When people sit down, so they probably won't get buzz it out. Should I go ahead and talk and say, listening to the Thommy Davis Show? Hello, everyone. You are listening to the Thommy Davis Show. On the House Woman Download You are now listening
Yo, Boobie. Hey,
I'm downstairs, brother.
All right, okay, all right.
Let me go get him.
my best friend before.
Good. I literally left a cookout and came still here.
Yeah.
And then gotta go back up. Like,
What I do
my family a party family. But I'll be over like around 2 o'clock in the morning.
is a good place.
Good. How you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Like one of the busiest men in house music.
Pretty doggone busy. I try.
That's a great thing. Have you heard this before? It's like a conversation. So it's like really.
Oh yeah, I was between that or something.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Is that married?
No, wait for it. It's 8 o'clock. I thought she was coming before 8. She's not here yet. She's not here yet.
Okay. No, married. She drives a little sometimes. Sometimes. This is the type of music I'm supposed to be yodeling over.
Huh? You got one more guest? What you say? You got one more guest coming?
Yeah.
Mary Lewis.
Mary Lewis. Oh, did you make it to Artscape?
I worked on it. I had to do, I did retirement party early Saturday. I did sideline Saturday night. I did Ivan Bates wedding yesterday.
Oh yeah, I heard you got married. Cool guy. He's a cool guy.
Right, right.
I think I made it to Artscape enough to see Freeway and Little Brother. I had to go.
Yeah.
But the Weibo, I cleared my day off with the Weibo. That's a really, really nice art section. I just wish they would have not had Artscape the same time as the Weibo. There's a lot going on. But you know, I guess he had his
What's live? I'm going to go downstairs. She's not here. She'll be on top with you.
Okay.
You got to get up early.
Yeah. Work for the federal government building defense stuff for the military and surveillance. Before I did that, I was building robotic drones for another company. I've been in manufacturing for almost 20 years.
I've been in and out of the government ever since I started. When I left Social Security, glad I did. Because it was, I was there when he had his first round. Those emails they used to send off to her. And I was like, find another job. So now I work for a nonprofit for Berlin Citizens for the Arts. And we lobby for more money for the arts for the state of Maryland. I went from working for the city to working for the federal government. Now, like, lobbying and pushing the state government to continue to get funds to the arts. Now I don't know why you're trying to cut the arts, especially the National Endowment Arts. Here in Maryland, for every dollar they spend, they get $3 back because of the arts. And that's music, movies, anything. So with him cutting the National Endowment of the Arts, he cut the money that was going out and also the money coming in. And that's going to have a huge effect on movies. We're not going to have any American movies anymore. It keeps going like that, yeah. Because he's trying to put a tariff on American music. But, majority rules.
Yeah. But one thing about us people of color, we've been getting down the raw deal since the beginning of time. So we know how to navigate these trying times. Get some other ones that's ready to jump out the building, though, blow their brains out, but they can't go. Like we give us lemons, and we've been making lemonade out of it for a long time.
Like I'm black. I know how to get through the struggle. Do I want to struggle? No. But this is what they put in. You gotta do your job. And they talk about giving $1,000 to every baby who was born. You know, Hillary Clinton said $3,000 when she ran, and they shot her down. But when Donald Trump said $1,000, everybody asked me about it. If you would have put her in, we would have had $3,000. Crazy. See right there. Whenever you're ready. You are listening to the Thommy Davis Show, only on for our special guest on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It is my profound pleasure to introduce
one of the best,
one of the sickest once again.
The best.
the new sensation of the nation, no doubt.
Once again, on stage on time. Once again.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle. It's dramatically new.
This is a revolution sure shot.
You're going to dance until your feet fall off.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime. I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lincoln Streets are very interesting and managed to travel from very far away to hear this tonight.
The mayhem continues, and there's still clarinets and trumpets and flutes and violins.
The energy here today is going to be electric. Expect to see some crazy moves. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready. And 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to Monday, everyone. You are listening to the Thommy Davis Show with the co-host, Tracy Stevens.
Yeah.
We have two guests here,
The mic now.
But first, we gotta talk about this weekend.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, you go first because you know I did everything under the moon plus some stuff.
So you better go first.
Okay.
Hey, thank y'all, family. We got a great show.
Yes, thank you for tuning in on the Memorial Day Monday. You know, we first have to say thank you to our veterans for serving. And I'm not going to say the other part that I'm going to say. But anyway,
Tracy, no, don't start. Don't.
No, that's okay. I'm not going to say it. So Thursday, I went to the Motor House to see D. Watkins. You know, he did a 10-page spread about Dwayne Wade, right? And he actually got a chance to sit down with Gabrielle Union, talk to his daughter, things of that sort. And his 10-page spread is inside the Atlantic. And everybody knows the Atlantic because that's where, Martin King used to send his letters when he was in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And also Malcolm X as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this magazine has been in print since like the early 1900s. This is a revolutionary magazine. And we have someone from here, from Baltimore, not the state of Maryland, but from Baltimore, actually do a 10-page spread about someone who talked about masculinity, manhood, and how to support your family regardless of what goes on within your family structure.
Wow, that sounds great.
Oh my goodness,
Tracy, we got
good.
a whole heap of people coming in about family and behavior modification. So we're gonna do that.
We don't on another show. Yeah, sorry. And Artscape. What's Artscape? Yeah.
So Tracy, you got that look.
And Sawebo was off the hook. It was really, really nice.
I really enjoyed it. I did go to that.
Nice.
I did go to that.
They had a black guy there singing opera.
Okay,
it was fantastic.
Wow, what's his name?
Griot, Greeyo.
Big shout out to Griot.
Yeah, he was impressive. Like his energy just coming on the stage was fantastic.
So this is the guy you said that's the R&B everything, including opera.
Yeah, he did poetry, he did rap, he did opera.
Did he jump on bowling balls?
He kind of did something like that. He was everywhere. He even like did like a little bit of cha-cha, and sang a little Latin music. It was
okay.
He was impressive.
You know what I liked about it? It was community. It reminded me of early Artscape. It's over there at Holland's. Is that right?
Yeah, it's on it was on Holland Street, right in front of Holland's Market. They even had a fashion show.
Oh, I couldn't even stay. I had to get over DC.
Yeah.
But still, it was nice. I mean, I saw Von Vargas, who is one of the chair people for the Grammys Recording Academy. He performed. It's like, wow, dude, they don't even know what's going on.
He had us throwing our hands in the air.
Did it really?
Yeah, he like, throw your hands in there. I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. And he was pretty good.
It was good. The vendors, the food. Yeah. They had 4 stages, I think. 4.
Yeah, they had 4 stages. They always have 4 stages.
Wow, that was really nice.
Yeah, the DJ stage was crap.
It's too many joints. What else?
Yeah, it was a lot. So at Sawebo, of course, everybody don't know. I used to work with this place called Make Space, and within that area, we're actually trying to get artists to live in the area. That was the place that was going to give me a house.
Okay.
But I turned it down because I think, I already got a house. Somebody else can have it. And they actually are, like, they have 4 houses there. 2 of them sold, so we're starting to flood the market for housing for artists.
So if somebody's listening to this, tell them.
Make Space. If you Google Make Space Baltimore, they have a lot of money for you to actually have a house within the South Baltimore area near Carey Street. So I know, what is it? Mount Clegg Junction has grants that's up towards $25,000 and $35,000 to go towards your house, and these are newly remodeled houses.
Okay, all right.
Rooftop decks and everything.
So y'all listening to that? So
they're doing a documentary too about how to change Baltimore.
So they was where they also had some tables about redlining in Baltimore and gas election. If you lived in the Southwest, Baltimore, they had organizations. I was like, this is really put together.
Yeah, and also they have Amtrak. So those that live in the Emerson Avenue area, where the Amtrak goes through, where Monroe Street and stuff.
Yeah.
they're actually giving a lot of like great stuff.
Don't do it because
Well,
you got a long
I'm
weekend.
not
We're
gonna.
not even
Yeah,
getting
I'm not gonna
past.
go there.
What else
So,
did you do?
and today, family time. Spend time with my family.
So you didn't go to see nobody
Oh,
at Artscape?
oh yeah, I went to see Freeway, and I saw Little Brother. I'm not gonna
D-
comment on Little Brother,
No,
but
no.
Freeway, which is a great thing, and that was something else. Thank you for reminding me. Freeway comes to Baltimore all the time and like perform. It's to the point where I'm like, dang, if they are they paying this guy $2.99 to come? But he actually revealed why he is in Baltimore a lot. Number one, he got his kidney here, so he needed a kidney transplant. He went to Johns Hopkins, and in Philadelphia, he has a black, what is it called? A black youth movement, right? And the black youth movement that is really successful in Philadelphia, in the town of Philadelphia. So they're actually bringing the same black youth movement. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Get up
you
on the
was
mic.
moving further and further away.
So they're actually bringing the same black youth movement to Baltimore City.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, so instead of just having open works during the summertime, they're actually going to have youth jobs.
Okay, that's a great
throughout
thing.
the year.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, so I learned a lot of, geez, all this is going on in Baltimore. Who knew?
So you ain't seen nobody perform besides Freeway and...
Somebody named Latoya Luckett. I don't know. I never heard of her before. So.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but, she was...
Well, so I had to DJ at the Ugly Mug because it is World Pride and Black Pride. And this club was packed to the hilt. I mean, it was off the chain. It was like, God darn. And it was, a lot of people from everywhere. So I got a chance to meet a lot of people. Like, where you from? Where you from? I said, I'm from Baltimore. Like, really? It's like, wow, we never heard none of that. So that was Saturday. And Sunday I went to the Clubhouse reunion. Yeah, and that was really nice. Seeing some people I haven't seen in a while. Some of the early people that really did house and club.
So everybody's ready to get traumatized, huh?
Sooner or later. But I'm a humble guy. Let's, keep it going.
Yeah, you got to I'll put it out there in the atmosphere.
So, and then we here with the show. I couldn't wait. And a lot of people say, you're not going to do it on a holiday. I said, yes, we are.
Yeah, we still got stuff to give to the community.
There you go. There you go. So let's move. Let's go. Big shout out to Lance and 410.
410.
Yeah.
Lance, thanks for coming in and kicking us in the butt, telling us we need to come on time. I got it.
I was here. I don't know what you talking about.
Okay, well,
you the one was eating potato salad and corn.
I gotta get it on time, Gavin. It was my fault. That was my fault.
So I asked our guest to come. She's an amazing woman. She does a lot of things. I don't know if we'd be able to cover all the stuff she does. So without any introduction, without a lengthy introduction, her name is Mary Lewis. Now I call her disco. So if y'all hear me calling her disco, because when I'm on the floor, she can dance her butt up. So Mary Lewis, welcome to the show. And you got to move this close to the mic.
Okay. Yeah, you got to get real close. I'm going to turn that mic on. The monitor off. Oops.
Oh, she a DJ too.
Y'all don't hear the him.
You got me this close.
Yeah, close. Yeah, you gotta be real close.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yeah. Welcome, Disco. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Thommy and Tracy. I'm really excited to be here.
We have to have you. You're fantastic.
So I'm gonna share something. Before when I first started working out, it was Mary. Disco. I mean, that gave me the first workout to help. And we actually recorded stuff that went online. And it's still probably online, right?
I think they may have recently taken it down since the pandemic is now over. But
what was it called, Mary? Tell them what was it called.
You
got to move closer. You should feel it. You got to be able to stick your tongue and touch it. That's how close.
Yeah. You kind of got to put your cheek on the side of it. Yeah. So
no, you're right. You're in front.
Yeah, you're
right.
good.
So Tom and Tracy, both of you did videos with me. The one that Thommy and I did was called Power Up and Cardio, and that one, both of them that we did were through the Baltimore County Department of Aging. But the Power Up Cardio one we did specifically for the pandemic. And they showed that one every single Tuesday. I believe we did 2 videos, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. And they showed those every Tuesday for like a couple of years. I believe they may have just recently taken them down.
Right. And it was aimed for the mature. I'm using the nice word.
for the seasoned folks.
Right.
I was going to say, I don't know, because I saw it and I know some people my age.
I was about to say that
no.
because truth be told, a lot of us are actually seasoned, whether we like to admit it or not.
Exactly.
And it wasn't easy. She worked it out.
Like, yeah, I saw it.
You saw it, right?
So like, y'all getting it in.
And actually, the one that Tracy and I did, Tracy did a little bit more modified, but I mean, what do you think, Tracy? Did you still get a workout while you were in the chair?
I still got that workout.
You did an easy one for her. You gave me the hump.
Now, we're not going to say easy.
Oh, no. I was going to say. Because you still felt it. Even though I was sitting in the chair with all of it, you still felt it.
Oh, you did the chair thing with her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So, Mary, tell us how you got into that. Let's start there. Let's start it is how, because I know, I'm not going to mention no names, you kind of work out the stars.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I don't know. I know that we don't have much time, so I'm going to try to compress it as much as I can. And
this is my show. Don't worry about it, man.
So, how did I get involved in health and wellness? I have to start with myself.
Okay.
Back in 2002, I was severely ill, suffered from fibroids, and was not getting a lot of answers that I needed. Ended up having to get major surgery due to the fibroids. And as a complication of the surgery, I went into congestive heart failure.
Oh.
And that sent me down a vicious cycle of the surgical menopause, and then that led to, she's got mental health issues. So truth be told, before it was all said and done, I was on about maybe 13 different medications.
Wow.
For everything from pancreatitis, hypothyroidism, bipolar disorder.
You was going through some stuff.
I was going, and one of the medications, I started getting seizures. I was in and out of the hospital. I was having symptoms that resembled a stroke. Could not figure out what the heck was going on, and I was going from doctor to doctor to doctor until I found one doctor and said, first of all, let's try to get her off of all of the medications. But before that took place, I wound up at Shepherd Pratt Hospital. That's a whole nother story, but I wound up at Shepherd Pratt Hospital, and one of the first things that they did was they put me on medical grade vitamin D, vitamin B6, and a whole host of calcium. All of those levels were extremely low. Okay. And after spending, about a week or so in the hospital, I found another doctor. We found another doctor who said, let's get her off all of these medications. And that was when a light bulb struck in my head, was like, okay, there's a whole lot of missing dots here with this health thing. And that's when I took it upon myself. I said, the only way that I'm going to know is to go back to school. So fast forward, it took me all of these years, 3 college degrees and a whole bunch of certifications to actually figure out that, being healthy and being well is a lot more than just being physically fit and thinking that you're eating right. Because a lot of us, we thinking that we're eating right, we're not.
Yeah, you better tell me.
Yeah, and none of us will be perfect. However, if you look at all of us in this room right now, it's safe to say we are over 35.
Yeah, y'all are.
Okay. So there's a couple of things that happens to the body after we get past the age of 35. They're starting to see it at younger ages now, and it's called sarcopenia or muscle wasting. We start to lose about 1% of our muscle mass every single year if we are not active. So by the time we get to about 60, 65 years old, we could have lost about maybe 20% of our muscle mass. And then as we get older, we want to hold on to fat. So combine that and you set yourself up for a host of chronic illnesses. And then
Wow.
you go a little bit deeper, and a lot of the chronic illnesses that a lot of us suffer from, we can probably trace them all the way back to our childhood.
Wow.
So back to me and my fibroids. So I was 39, 40 years old when I had to get a hysterectomy, but no one ever talked to me about my nutrition growing up. Now, I was always an active person growing up, never really had a weight problem. So I guess that's maybe why I never had a conversation with my doctors about what was my parents feeding me. And my parents did the best that they could. My parents came from the South. We ate things like Spam, a lot of salt.
Yeah.
And even though she cooked a lot for us, a lot of things that she cooked, a lot of salt, a lot of fat. And thank God I've never been diagnosed with high blood pressure, things like that. But just about everybody else in my family has high blood pressure. But back to the fibroids, because of how I was eating, a lot of sweets, a lot of fried fatty foods, all throughout life. And then you go through puberty, I had acne, I had painful periods, all of that set up to, by the time I got to my 30s, I had fibroids so bad that I probably need to wear a diaper. That's just how bad it was.
Listen, ladies, she telling y'all stuff, I mean, y'all,
I've been there.
So what you're saying is that they didn't say anything about it.
Exactly. And even by the time I got 3 abdominal surgeries before I actually got the hysterectomy, where they would go in and remove the fibroids, but then the fibroids kept coming back. But no one counseled me and was like, well, if you stop smoking, if you stop drinking alcohol, or cut down on your alcohol consumption, if you cut down on your red meats, which we now know is a carcinogen, if you cut down on those tasty cakes, I used to love eating chocolate donuts, butterscotch crimpets, all of that stuff with all of those chemicals, all of that sugar, and then you mix that in with your hormones, and you're wondering why when your period comes on, you're craving those things. It's because you set up an environment in your body. And then you do this for decades, and then you wonder why when you get to 35, 45, you're going through perimenopause, and now you can't lose weight. These things didn't happen overnight. I'm sorry, this is something that was set up over a period of time, but our doctors don't talk to us about that.
So just speaking, because besides going through that personally, you went to school and actually defined it by academically. So you think a lot of African American women go through this stuff silently?
Absolutely.
That's a great thing. I'm one right here.
And here's the kicker.
I think my stomach's big.
And here's the kicker. When I was still in community college, I was getting my degree in exercise science, and I wrote a report on how I was able to get off my medications and all of that. I was able to get off my medications, and I talked about how I went into early menopause, and one of my professors said to me, well, you could have left the menopause part out.
What?
Yes. So this is another thing that I'm happy to see, that you're hearing more about women talking about the symptoms of menopause and perimenopause, the things that our bodies go through, and that we are now finally getting heard. And I wish that my mother was still alive, because she had to get a hysterectomy at the age of 36. Fibroids.
Wow. So you're saying all this is preventative?
A lot of it is. A lot of it is. And even though they removed my uterus for the fibroids, it didn't cure the fibroids, because guess where they went? To my breast. So then I had to worry about, you get a mammogram, oh my God, there's a lump in your breast. Then you got to go get a diagnostic. So now you're on pins and needles. Well, oh, is it breast cancer? And then that's a whole nother issue.
Yep.
When we start talking about that estrogen dominance, and and you're hearing now, what, 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in their lifetime.
Those are high numbers.
These are high numbers. And us Black women, we suffer exponentially more so than other groups.
Well, that's what this show is about. I mean,
and there's a lot of systemic racism that's involved with that. If I were, someone that looks like me, we go to the doctor and I say, I had to actually fight one of my doctors just last year to get a sonogram on a breast lump that I had been watching for a number of years. And they did not want to do the sonogram. So fighting with your insurance company to make sure that you do get the care that you need.
So you was very proactive. Are you saying there's some kind of dichotomy with the healthcare services with Black women? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. Definitely.
Which
I'm sorry, if I can tell you what happened with my sister, April, she had lupus. She was diagnosed with lupus. Let me tell you, I think I sat in the emergency room with her for almost 48 hours. And then when the doctors came, I made sure I don't like that person because they didn't say this. I didn't like, so you really, if you don't have an advocate in your life, you need to become your own advocate. And she was in the hospital for almost a month before they found out that it was lupus, because I kept asking questions.
So ladies out there, listen, this is real important. You're hearing other ladies share some of the things. I mean, we've all lost women in our lives from stuff like this. And some of these things, if we don't talk about it, it'll be more. So Mary, so you went there, you got the first degree, and then go ahead.
So I got my degree in exercise science, became a personal trainer, and I was starting my first personal training job in a gym. I worked at Retro Fitness in Catonsville, and my very first client that I got at the gym was a 56-year-old female who had suffered from a stroke. She was blind in one eye and had weakness on one side of her body. The gym really was not equipped to, how do you train a person who has
a disability,
who has that many special needs, right? And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm limited as to how much I can do for her, because I need to fully understand what happens to your body when you go through a stroke, and how do you correct or try to help that person make the best of the mobility that they have. So that's when I.
So you saw something missing. There wasn't no direction, no special things where someone with a disability, they just was even more ignored.
Right, at the particular time. And plus, I was 51 when I became a personal trainer.
Wow.
So, I guess the client that I had, she saw that I looked a little seasoned, and maybe that, I could help her. And that was when I spoke with one of my mentors at Morgan State University, a medical doctor by the name of Nana Adusakode. He is still my mentor to this day. And he was like, "You sure that's all you want to do is just be a personal trainer? Just think of how much of an impact you can make. Don't you want your work to be meaningful?"
Wow.
So from there, he set me up with an internship at the VA, where I was able to develop a fitness program for veterans who are homebound or bedbound. And the Veterans Administration still use my Versi program to this very day.
Wow.
So,
That's awesome. Wow. That's great.
Now, tell me something. To go back to school at 51, that the retention rate in seniors, you don't see it often. But I think the society's starting to realize that you're never too old, or, you go back and get it. So how did it feel being a victorious Black woman, triumphant through your problem, and back in school? But, both of us was in school, and we would talk about all the stuff.
A lot of it was hard. And the reason why was because I was in this fitness space. I was training clients and all. And I realized that in order for me to really make a stable living doing what I do, I'm gonna have to. The people that I was working with at the time, it was, I don't want to say they didn't appreciate the value that I brought to the table, but there were times that I did feel woefully undervalued.
They probably didn't know your greatness. That's what that was.
Where I literally felt woefully undervalued. But what kept me going was the people that I was actually serving.
Okay.
And in order for me to serve them, that kind of kept me making sure that I stay on top of what's going to best help them, which was how I actually got into fall prevention. Through my mentor, we identified a need that was happening, and not just in the country, but particularly in our community and in Baltimore City in particular, where you have older housing stock, and many of our seniors that live right here in the city may not have access to the services that they have in Baltimore County. Hopefully, we can kind of bridge that gap. But the fall rate, I mean, as far as people falling and injuring themselves, when I looked at the numbers, like, wow, 1 in 4 seniors or people over the age of 65 are experiencing a fall, at least one each year. And most of the time, they don't want to talk about it.
That's not old. I don't care what y'all say. It's not, Tracy. I know you're 66.
It's not. but the truth of the matter is that it can happen to anyone. It can happen to anyone. And one of the main culprits is, back to what I said earlier, sarcopenia, or that muscle wasting.
Can you spell it for our listeners?
What, sarcopenia?
If you can't just say no, I can't. I don't.
I was getting ready to make a joke about it. sarcopenia. Sarcopenia.
I call myself kind of, a little bit. I never heard of that. I'm definitely going to Google it.
It's just a fancy word. It's a Greek word that just simply says that your muscles are wasting. Sarco meaning muscle, penia meaning deficient or loss of.
Y'all hear that, house heads? It's all y'all over 40. So,
we're going to see a whole bunch of house heads with that life alert bracelet on, talking about I fall and I can't get up.
Tracy, do the ID thing. Go ahead, do that.
You are listening to the Thommy Davis Show, only on Power 410. Download the app, download the app, download the app. And right now we're talking to Mary Lewis. How can they find you?
You can find me Facebook. I am at Train with Mary. Instagram, I am at Train with Mary LLC. TikTok, I am at Train with Mary.
Okay, that's cool. So they can just reach out to you and
yes,
and get your services. Also, not to get you off topic, but I want to know, when people want to come and train with you, say if it's a group of us, can you do like a play day?
Play days can be, contact me, the numbers in your party. We can set up a date, and once you tell me the numbers in your party and who the people are in your party, before we do anything, I would do an assessment on each of them. Okay. And price would be included in all of that as far as location and things like that. But when it comes to one-on-one personal training, because of I am doing so many different things in the community, I don't have much time at all to do one-on-one personal training. And when I do, that is pretty much online training.
Okay.
I really can't go all over.
Through pandemic, Train with Mary, you was committed to it.
Yeah.
And then you would tell people to go and Drill Park, and you was meeting groups of people in a park, and I was like, Mary, you don't get no dust.
So nowadays I'm doing more of group fitness in the medical section.
Okay.
I do a lot of work with Silver Sneakers. Currently teaching 2 Silver Sneakers classes in the community. And if you are 65 and older, those classes are of no extra charge if you are Medicare patients.
Okay.
I'm also teaching another cool class called Power Hour Group Fitness. That's for anyone, but most of the people in that group are over 50. And that we meet twice a week, and that's over at Epworth United Chapel.
Wow.
And I'm also teaching at the Community College of Baltimore County. So part of my work there, I am a health professor, so I do teach Health 101 and other public health classes, and then I'll teach on the phys ed side. I teach aqua fitness, so I'm a certified aqua fitness instructor. And the aqua fitness classes has completely blown up. Like I literally have waiting list for my aqua fitness class.
That's awesome. I wish I could.
So so when it comes to one-on-one training, I have right now I really don't have any spaces for that. But a group play date, call me, set me up with who's in your group, and we get the health assessments going on, and then we set up a date and we take it from there.
Yeah, let's do it, Thommy. We can meet at a playground
You
and then just
you doing
play.
yoga now though?
Yeah, I'm doing hot yoga.
Yeah.
Oh, hot yoga is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot
It's
of
good
things.
for
I
your
mean,
circulation.
you know, we need to change the perception that if you get past a certain age that you just sit around and wait for something to happen. How about
Not past a certain age to think about it. Now, a lot of, well, I don't want to call them children. A lot of youth don't get outside anymore. Everybody's in front of a TV screen playing games, and they're wasting their muscles away.
Yes, and with a lot of my college students that I, particularly my Health 101 students, the majority of those students are 17 to 18 years old, fresh out of high school. And when we get to the physical fitness portion, and because of my physical fitness, because of my credentials, I can take them to the gym, work them out, do assessments on them.
And she's not playing.
And you'd be surprised at how many of them can't do simple things like touching their toes or doing a modified sit-up.
Yep.
And it's kind of frightening when we think about our younger generation and how there's such a high percentage of them, at least 30%, who are not getting the amount of exercise. And let's not talk about diet. That's a whole other story.
They don't go out and play anymore.
No. For those of us on a radio show, you can't see it, but she is snatched to the gods.
Yes. Google Train with Mary, you will see.
You will see. So, Mary, you do other thing. You happen to be married to my man, my close friend, and Greg Lewis.
Yeah, he all right.
Greg's named him up last week with Gary Hudgens.
Oh yeah. High praise.
Yes.
So what is it like being with a musician? Because that's what a DJ kind of is. And Greg is more than that. He is a just idiot savant on everything.
I don't know. I guess you have to ask him what's it like being with someone like me. I mean, because I'm always been here, there, everywhere. Greg.
No, this Mari. We already had Greg. But this is the Mari Lewis thing. Because you could see Mari on the dance floor. She is just out there just dancing. And tell us about...
So I guess it works, you know.
It does.
I mean, because I enjoy music. I enjoy dancing to music. He enjoys dancing to music. He enjoys creating music. And, you know, I guess, you know, we both, you know, I appreciate his creativity and I give him the space that he needs to do what he needs to do.
How did y'all meet?
At a club.
See?
I'll see. Hey, that's perfect.
Let me find out, Cinderella.
Where are my people in the club?
Yeah, I mean, I won't name it because it was an after hours spot.
You can name it. This is the Thommy Davis Show.
Okay. But yes, and he was a perfect gentleman, and we danced all night. And he walked me to get a cab. Perfect gentleman.
Oh.
Starting of a great love story.
Go ahead, G. Go ahead, G.
I was out. I just wanted to dance, and he was out with his boys, and me and him clicked and danced, and he walked me to get a cab, and he gave me his number, and that was that.
That's the vibe.
I love stories like that, especially when it involves around music. It's a lot of people that met in the club. I mean, especially house music and dance music. It's the easiest way to meet someone.
Yeah, that's true.
It's always a happy scene. You know, it's nothing going on. It's like, you know, there are some people that's just trying to take somebody home, but there are some decent gentlemen.
Yeah, he was a perfect gentleman. I mean, and the funny thing was people was hitting on me all night, and he was the only one that wasn't. And we had a great time, and that was that.
Wow.
31 years later.
Now, since we're kind of close, now, Mary, you also have another hobby that's incredible. It's horticulture and... Go ahead.
My gardening, I can't live without it. And I'm surprised that I say that. Because flowers and things, I had my mother and my sisters to take care of that for me. Never had to do it on my own. And the last Mother's Day that my mother was alive, she planted those 2 bushes that's in my backyard. Yeah. She planted those. And she told me that they were going to take over that whole little thing in my backyard.
They did.
And which they did.
Right.
And I can't bear to cut them because she put them there.
Oh, that's sentimental, right?
I know. But, so it was like after my mother passed for like maybe a year or so, my 2 sisters would come over and plant flowers for me. And they die. And then something just clicked in me and said, you know what, you can do this. And then I just started growing stuff and it stopped dying.
For those of y'all, if you go to her page, you would use, especially in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So you harvest vegetables and a whole bunch of things.
I do have a question about that. Seeing the climate is the way that it is, and everything's going up, and people that have families really can't afford to eat healthy.
Right.
Because that's the one thing about eating that's really hard is eating healthy costs way more than what it is to eat. Like junk food. So I started researching this thing called growth pots or something.
The grow
like
bags?
That. Yeah.
I'm using grow bags right now to grow white potatoes.
I was going to ask you, do they work? Because I was thinking potatoes and string beans.
Yes.
Okay.
Right now I got red potatoes and Yukon Gold potatoes and grow bags, and they are doing well.
So they do work. I'm like, there's no way in the world this can.
I started them on April the 5th, and I kind of documented it. I started them on April the 5th, and you start off with about maybe that much soil in your bag, and you put the potato slips in.
Yeah. And
then as the foliage grow, you just keep piling it up. Mine is already filled to the top, and I got blooms coming all out of them.
Wow.
Awesome.
Now, if y'all don't know, she grows greens, beans, tomatoes, ham. I mean, not ham.
So yeah, I did have a little bit of a flood the past. We had all that rain last week.
Yeah.
And so I had sugar snap peas that completely flooded out, and a couple of my broccoli plants, but my cucumbers and all that stuff is surviving.
Oh, that's cool.
So to your question about climate change, every year, I've been gardening now for 16 years, and each year I notice something different, either a new invasive weed or some sort of bug. It's always a new pest that we got to fight off.
That's true.
And now I'm seeing white flies a lot earlier in the season, and I mean, the stuff isn't really even harvesting yet. We just put stuff in for the spring. And already we're seeing white flies because of all the wetness that's down there.
Wow.
So that's the one thing. So hopefully now the weather will get to at least 80 degrees and stay there.
Yeah.
And we may not get so much of those torrential downpours for a while.
Or the real cold.
Or real cold, right? Yeah. That's another thing.
So, we really want to thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Her schedule was so busy. I booked her 3 months ago.
Oh,
that's how busy she is.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing.
So now I'd like to throw just regular questions. What's your favorite house record?
Oh gosh, you know what?
It can be old. It can be old. It don't have to be new. It don't have to.
It doesn't have to be new.
No.
And it doesn't have to be by Greg. I'm just saying. Shh. That's a whisper.
But you know what? One of my favorite songs is a Greg and Thommy remix. I can't pronounce the name of it. It begins with an O.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, I have my own name for it. I have to tell you off
You know,
the
Greg
air.
picks those names. I can't even pronounce them. Oh, but yeah, I like what? A Weibo?
Oh, something like that. I can't pronounce the name of it. But that is actually one of my favorite ones. And it's another one, a Greg and Thommy song that is my favorite, and it's Frequency.
Oh yeah, that's.
It got nominated for, and made it over to the Grammys.
So those two are actually two of my favorite house songs.
Big shout out to T-Bass and John Johnson and Angela. That's a lot of people in the chat. You know.
Can I boo?
Oh,
Tracy.
I'm just.
We don't boo nobody on here.
I didn't boo anybody today, so T-Bass, boo. Like I'm joking.
She's just joking.
I'm joking.
Mary, would you have any encouraging words you want to say to somebody that was going through what you went through? What can you say to them?
I would say, first thing that you should do is go and ask your doctor to refer you to a registered dietitian. It's one of the first things you would do.
And this is not official. Did she, like, you know? Like,
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. But I would say if you I would say that one of the first things you should do when your doctor is telling you, that you are having some hormonal problems, ask to get a consultation with a registered dietitian. A registered dietitian, they are very well versed in medical nutrition, and they can actually give you a meal plan based on, your blood work and your medical records. I would do that and try that for about 90 days and then go back to your doctor and get reassessed. That's one of the things that I would do as a preventive measure.
I was about to ask you that. I'm sorry. I was about to ask you about the blood work because a lot of people don't realize, especially Black women, how many vitamins we're missing.
Oh my goodness. So one of the things that you want to think about is not just biotin. We always think about biotin because we don't want to lose our hair, but we should also be thinking about those trace minerals like copper, zinc, selenium.
Says you know what you're talking about.
You also need to make sure that you're getting enough B6, B12, B3, all of your B vitamins. And then if you get a B complex, you may have to spend a little bit of money, but make sure that it is the methyl, not cyano. When you read the label, the methyl, that when you see methyl at the beginning, those work more in sync with your body as opposed to the ones that say cyano, B, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
And also vitamin D. A lot of us are very low in vitamin D, even though we think that we are getting a lot of our vitamin D from the sun. But think about it. How many of us are actually out in the sun for 20 minutes a day?
Exactly. I know I can't get out.
Right.
Well, my doctor explained it to me. He said, hey, listen, your genealogy, you're from the equator. And so if you're up here and you're not getting a lot of sun, you're really vitamin D deficient.
Right. And the darker,
especially in the winter.
And the darker you are, we have that, the darker you are, you have that thing called melanin.
Yes.
So it may take you a little bit longer to absorb the sun because you have that protective factor called melanin.
See, I need to just lay in the sun like Kunta Kinte.
And this can often, it can often give us the perception that we don't need to take vitamin D, which is not true.
No, I need.
Yeah, during the winter, my primary care doctor says, hey, I'm going to give you a vitamin supplement. I said, why? He says, because it's really low in the winter time when there's less sun.
Right.
He said, it's just your genes, your genetics, as you used to have and be about equator where you would have sun. I was like, okay, fine.
And vitamin D is also a hormone. We have to think of vitamin D as a hormone. If we store it in our fat cells, we need it in order to help us absorb calcium.
Yeah.
We also need it for thyroid regulation and function and for mood, for so many things.
You told me something about it. Said if I take it something else to increase. Is it vitamin C? You said no. You need to take something with
That's
it.
if you're taking iron supplements. So if you're taking an
right.
iron supplement, you want to make sure that you're taking it with vitamin C so that your body absorbs it better.
See, we could talk all we could talk all day. This is what the show is about.
Yeah.
This is what it's about. It's the Black community, Black businesses, not just Black. We actually just Baltimore. Just really Baltimore. It just happens that we know a lot of our family and friends are independent African Americans.
Exactly.
Mary, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's some people in the chat that say, hey, Pete, Sierra.
Thank you.
And Tracy, T-Base, we love you. Now he booing you. He's saying boo to you.
But he has the nice boo. Oh, hey, boo.
So we're gonna go ahead and you can stay around if you want.
Stay around,
because it becomes an open conversation eventually. Because it kind of can't help it. We're humans. We talk about one thing, and of course. And we got the legendary, the man himself. And you know what? When I go, you ain't miss a beat. You said, sure. And you and I have been in so many award ceremonies. It's like getting awards. It's like, who else is receiving an award? I said, Boobie. Oh yeah. Man, I've known you for a long time, for a very, very long time, and I see you as the creator to R&B mashes. Before you, I worked in a record store. Trust me, nobody was doing it. And you in Metro, was it 5-4 in Ricestown? You created this thing with these R&B slow records,
Right.
and you was doing incredible things with them, and that kind of encouraged.
Like 91.
So tell me a story.
92. Oh man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
DJ
Boobie.
That's all. No, I'm very thankful to be here, man. Before I even get started, man, I gotta say God is great because this journey that I've been on has just been absolutely amazing. I mean, young guy from West Baltimore, they used to call me, the little guys in the neighborhood used to call me DJ Hollywood because they say, oh man, you always dreaming, you're not gonna go nowhere with this.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they were the fuel to my fire. And here it is. I've been doing this since I was 10 and I'm 56 now. And I think right about now, I'm probably playing at probably one of the highest levels that I've ever played in my life because it's a total love affair with the music.
And you love what you do.
I absolutely love everything that I do. And I've always been kind of like a nerdy type. Always computer. I like computers. I like music. I used to walk around with a little Casio keyboard and I used to play stuff by ear. I used to walk around with my radio and catch the buses up to the schools and say, hey, man, I'm DJ. Well, I was a DJ Special K first.
Oh,
Okay.
I remember that too.
Like the cereal. I was Special K first. And then my DJ partner, CJ Fresh, we owned a mobile DJ company together. And we used to do all of the parties, high school parties. That's where I first met Tracy.
Yeah.
Because I used to
Carver
DJ.
High School.
I used to DJ. Carver High School was like high school Odell's.
Yep, it sure was.
Really?
Yes.
It was like
we
fame.
had the best.
Yeah.
We had the best parties. Like everybody wanted to. It was to the point where I could buy 10 tickets and hustle them out front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, we created like a whole vibe and a whole movement. But in the 90s, where the slow jam with the club music mashup kind of came from, I didn't originate it, of course. There's another Baltimore DJ Kid Concrete.
Oh yeah, Justin.
Justin, yeah.
Yeah.
He used to make mixtapes back in the day, all of us, around that time. And I heard one of his mixtapes where he mixed BBD, When I See You Smile, with the Bad Sister track.
Okay.
And I heard that, and I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible. So I called him up on the phone. I'm like, bruh, I said, I love that mix. I said, I want to put that mix on one of my tapes. Oh man, go for it. So, I mean, back then we really had DJ respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We would call, we would never want to bite somebody's mix. We would always, get the blessing, can I do this? And so I did that on track number 6 or 7 when I first started doing mixtapes. And then the shot heard around the world was when I mixed the acapella of Jodeci Stay with the Stereo MCs on 33rd beat.
Okay.
And that was the one that really like lit the fire around Baltimore. Everybody's like, who's DJ Boobie? Who's DJ Boobie? Who's DJ Boobie? And that was kind of like the beginning of everything that you see now, so many years later.
Wow. And this is around the birth of Baltimore Club too.
Yeah.
Because those records you name are all ingredients in Baltimore Club.
Yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Early 90s.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I gotta say, one of the attributes is why you're legendary and why you still love it like that. Because you've always been a nice guy. You never had a big head. They didn't have to crack the door for you to get in, and you never.
We had to open up 2 doors for
Not saying no.
I'm joking.
And that's real important.
That cut my stomach.
So you need to talk to Murray after the show, right?
Yes. I got a 6-pack. It's just hot. I do.
So, this whole journey for you, what I mean? I know some of the things you want to share your whole process, because in order to be your age, at which averagely doesn't play that long. They normally do it in their youth and they stop. You know what I mean? They do it for their friends and parties and then they stop. For somebody to keep going on, like me, you, Greg Lewis, or it's something special. What was
Yeah.
it? What was it to say? I don't want to let this go.
Well, growing up on Lafayette Avenue, Lafayette and Dukeland, Lafayette, Poplar Grove, in that area, a lot of my friends are gone.
Yeah. Oh man, sorry.
A lot of them didn't even make it to 25.
Wow.
They didn't even make it to 25. Even family members didn't make it that far. The music kept me off the corner.
Okay.
And I remember begging my mom, I want some turntables. At 9 years old, I was wearing her out about these turntables. She said, well, in exchange, you got to make sure you keep your grades up. So I kept my grades up. Got my first pair of turntables from Luskin's. I'm trying to show you how seasoned, I ain't going to say old, but how seasoned the brother is.
Yeah.
But I got a pair of Techniques SLB 100s.
Direct drives.
Right. From Luskin's on Park Heights. Now, she said, now listen, I'll get you this pair of turntables for Christmas, but I'm not going to be able to get your mixer till the first of the month. Okay, all right. So we went down to Discount City on Howard Street, and I got me my little Gemini mixer with the wood grain around it. Oh man, I was in business then, and that she really was my very number one fan. My mom was like, "Wow, I believe in what you're trying to do." And then when she made the investment, I remember one day coming home from school. And I was going to run up the steps and turn that music on. She said, listen, before you turn that loud music on, she said, I need to say something to you. She said, now, Mom, I don't have a lot of money, but I believe in what you're trying to do. And she said, please don't make a fool out of me. Please do not allow me to waste the little money that we do have. She said you were passionate about it. You kept up your end of the bargain as far as your school and your grades. She said, please don't make a fool out of me. And so that's always been my motivation to say, I got to make my mama proud. I got to make her proud. And the night that you and I got nominated for the Baltimore Music Award Hall of Fame induction,
okay,
my mama was my date.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. So was mine.
Yeah, my mama was my date, and I'm so thankful that a lot of the things I talked about, she got a chance to see some of these things come to pass before she left here. And the greatest out of all the plaques and awards and the kudos and all the stuff that I've ever received throughout my career, the greatest honor was for her to grab me by my hands and say, son, I am so entirely proud of you. She said, I hear your voice on the radio and I get chills.
Wow.
She said, I used to hear you in your bedroom, like practicing, like talking on the radio. I used to literally practice talking on the radio.
You're real good at it.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm okay. But I literally, because I had such a passion for it, and I wanted to be articulate. And once I got the basics down, then I wanted to freestyle it, and I wanted to make sure that what I was saying on the mic was engaging to the listener, make sure I capture people's attention with my voice. And now, 33 years later, because I've been in radio at this point 33 years.
Wow.
And I'm thankful, man, from V103 to 92Q to doing a lot of internet radio. I moved to Vegas in 2017. 3 months after I moved to Vegas, I got hired in radio out there. I'm still on the radio out there doing mixes for Power 88 FM in Las Vegas.
Okay.
I was just on the air twice. Today, I had 2 mixes running on 88. So when I left to move back to Baltimore, my program director was like, listen, I know you got to move, but you can always have a job here. You're one of the best I've ever heard in my life. And I need to have your energy still on my station. So, I was very, very humbled by that. And so here it is. In 2017, I got on the radio out there. In 2025, I'm still on the radio out there.
Wow.
That's nice.
So a lot of us, for the people that don't understand the life of a DJ, along the way, not everybody's going to be supportive. They say, "Oh, you still do your little DJing?" I said, "Why you keep saying my little DJing?
Yeah.
Those records weigh a lot,
It's
you know
so-
what I mean?
so
And
many
I gotta
people
go
that-
to record stores and keep up, and I gotta do this and I gotta do that. How dare you call it your little DJ thing?"
It's amazing how many people downplay this talent that we have.
Yeah.
And this is really not an easy job.
But I think that you just answered why those people downplay it. Because it's a talent that you have, not
Right.
them.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think everybody got it, but that's a lifetime. You have done a lifetime. So, so how was it leaving Baltimore and actually taking? You were raised from Baltimore, right? So
Born and raised.
So you went somewhere else, and
man, you talking about a leap of faith?
Yeah.
I think I talked to God so much. Well, I know God's secretary was like, God, Boobie on line 3
I'm
again.
stealing that, yo. I'm stealing that.
God, Boobie on line 5.
Like, what do you want now?
What
do you want now?
What do you want now? Yeah. But moving to Vegas, I'm gonna tell you what prompted my move to Vegas. I mean, me and my wife, we got married. We went there for our honeymoon. She got sick. We really didn't enjoy ourselves. A few months later, we went back for a second honeymoon. I got a really good friend of mine named Snapper that lives out there. So he took us around and showed us the residential living in Las Vegas because, of course, everybody knows about the Strip.
Right.
Everybody knows about Fremont Street. Everybody knows about all the lights and the bells and whistles and nonstop drinking and nonstop partying. But we got a chance to see the residential living out there. And I don't know, it was something about waking up every day, seeing the mountains every day, seeing the palm trees every day, seeing the sun up 340 out of 365 days.
Wow. Okay.
At least 340 to 345 days is sunny out there. The heat is medieval, though. I have to say that. The heat is medieval, and it's scary because it's a dry heat with no humidity. And so you'll come outside, and you'll see them on the news say it's 105 or 110.
What?
And you go outside, and it feels like it's about 88. 90, you're like, oh man, it's kind of nice. And all of a sudden you start seeing this little twinkling, and before you know it, you done woke up in the ER.
Wow, like that?
Yeah, you have a heat stroke. You will have so much heat exhaustion. People out there drinking all of the sugary drinks and not enough water, not staying hydrated, and you will fall out. And believe me, boy, I thought I was going to see Jesus 3-4 times while I was living out there, working in the heat, because I also, besides being a DJ, besides being in radio, I also work a regular 9 to 5, and I've been in manufacturing now for about 20 years. So when I lived in Las Vegas, I worked for GE, and I was actually rebuilding locomotive engines for Amtrak. We was rebuilding locomotive engines. And it was every bit of 112 to 120 degrees inside the plane.
Wow.
Every day. And I did that for two years.
Wow.
Money was good, but I was risking my life every single day. And so I was doing that in the daytime and doing radio, on the weekends. And I got a chance to play in a couple major spots out there, Hard Rock Cafe. They have a really big spot out there, big urban spot called the Blue Martini, which is not on the Strip, but it's just near the airport.
I heard of that.
Indoor and outdoor event, indoor and outdoor venue, and I played out there a lot. I played on a couple of national parties. Promoters from around the country would have something in Vegas, and they would grab the best DJ from this city, the best DJ from that city, and the best DJ from that city. So I always ended up playing on a couple of national parties with DJs. The best, quote unquote, from whatever area they was in. And humbly, I used to mop the floor with them. Because Baltimore DJs have creativity like no other DJ anywhere in the world. I'm not saying anywhere in the United States. I'm talking about anywhere in the world. We are super duper creative.
So it's kind of like, yeah, you did nice, but let me show you what Baltimore got.
Oh man, well, I was giving them the business out there. They was always peeping over my shoulder like, I ain't got that version. Hey, I don't hear that acapella. Hey, I didn't know that song went like that. It don't. I'm doing it right here, right now.
Right.
And they're like, wow.
Baltimore's a whole nother beast.
If you can survive in Baltimore as a DJ, you can play anywhere in the world.
Right.
Anywhere.
That's in arts in general. Look at the people that came from here. The guy, David Byrne from Talking Heads. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan. Like, look at the people that we raised here in Baltimore.
I didn't know Michael P. Jordan was from Baltimore.
Yeah, he's from Baltimore.
So tell me something. You went through this whole period and where you just stuck with it. You just stuck with it. So it's a little spiritual. And you think it was something that God really, really installed in you to do? And because you and I talk about it. We're both two spiritual black men, and we talk about it a lot. So tell people how your perspective is. I mean, like your weekend this week, what you told me, what you did just this weekend alone is incredible. I would have to have a Red Bull IV and
Trust me, my beautiful wife, she shakes her head every time. She's like, I don't know where you get energy from. I don't know how you do it. And believe me, I seriously do not want to go half the time. At this point, being a homebody, being a married man, working a regular job, got to get up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work. But it's the music. It's like a nonstop passion when it comes to the music. I get up now. I wake up when my wife gets up to go to work. She has to be to work at 6. She works in Bethesda. She leaves the house around 5:15. I'll take my shower, and guess what? Guess who's on Facebook mixing live at 6:30 in the morning?
I was wondering how you do that, man.
Playing like I'm playing at the peak hour at the nightclub from 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning.
Well,
this fool.
I was like, back in the day, you were in the club at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning playing music.
So I love the music so much, and I know that God orchestrated this particular step for me in my life. And now being older, so much older, and have gone through so many different things, I feel a shift in my atmosphere right now. And I feel like God is saying, okay, son, I gave you this talent. Your talent has graduated into a platform. Now, with this platform that you have, now I'm getting ready to start another chapter for you. And you're going to have to use the power of your popularity that you gained from this talent that I gave you. And now you had to use your platform to tell people how good I am.
What? I just had this conversation with someone.
Yeah. We were just talking about, when you played the gospel music in the club, that somebody
but even more than that, it's you as a black man, you go and you deal with your obstacles. You all you think about is I want to survive. And then after a while you realize that something higher power is pushing and opening you doors to do more with it.
Absolutely.
And so then you aim at that. And then all of a sudden, as you go along, you says, wait a minute, this is a gift and I'm supposed to do something more with it.
Right, absolutely.
And reach other, and you go back and you reach back and say, hey, you know what? I need to introduce us to my personal beliefs.
Right. You have to use the power of your platform to do something for the greater good.
Yes.
The music is just a catalyst that grabbed us and gravitated all of us meeting in this one spot at this one time. Okay, so I'm taking the needle off the record, and I'm going to talk about how good my Savior is to me.
You better work. I wish I had the Boobie horn. Burr, 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 burr.
So are we going to get a Bishop Boobie track record?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, right now I have stuck my toe back into the production field. I haven't. Well, most of the production I did back in the 90s, I really didn't do the production. I pretty much had the idea. I didn't have all the technical skills. So I had, people like Ronald Hall, rest in peace. Scotty B did the tapping for me. DJ Patrick, DJ Techniques. They did a lot of the mechanical work, but I was the one that had the idea. I made up the hook or this and that. Now, fast forward 2025. Now I'm doing a lot of stuff on my own, and I'm still a baby in it, but I got this creative bug going on with me right now. So I've been making a lot of mashups and a lot of stuff.
You sent me some of them. They was not, it's almost illegal to do them, but that's how you sharpen your craft to get to the next level.
and see, if you notice, most of the larger DJs, I mean, what you call the super DJs, the ones that's making so much more money than we are. And their skin is a whole lot lighter.
I was going to say, making more money than y'all, but doing the same thing, but to a lower level.
Right.
We might as well say that.
Shady.
Right.
I was waiting for you to show up. I was just waiting. I was waiting. She is Shady McGrady. Something shady gonna be said.
I didn't say they were bad. I just said at a lower level. That's all.
But a lot of the bigger DJs right now, a lot of them are producers, and they get a chance to experiment and play a lot of their music for their crowd first.
Yeah.
To see, are they feeling what I'm doing? So right now, at this point in my DJ career, of course, I love house music. And let me kind of touch on this subject a little bit. So
you got the mic.
I'm an all-around DJ. I've always been an all-around, like, open format type DJ. But I'm saying right now that house music is my first absolute love in music. And people didn't really believe that at first. They're like,
but you're so good as an all-around. That's a skill. That's a hard skill to do.
Right. But when I play house music, I'm like way out on Pluto somewhere. I'm like out there. And it's because I love it so much, and people really realize that house music is a lifestyle and it's a complete feeling. And I'm serious. I have total out-of-body experiences when I'm playing house music.
Let me tell you, we asked Boobie to collect the minds. So he gets on, and something happened that never happened before. While you was playing, the crowd started chanting like you was a football team. Boobie! To where they was louder than the music.
That, I gotta be honest with you, that had to be one of the greatest performances of my entire life, because I was terrified.
What?
I was terrified. I was thankful. I was grateful to be on Collective Minds, because I've been wanting to do. I said, this is on my bucket list. I want to play for this. I want to play for the Heads. I really want to play for them. And then when you guys gave me the green light, I'm like, oh my God, I got to play for the Heads. And I was scared to death. I was terrified. I went and picked up DJ Big Groove, Dave Sherman.
Yeah.
I picked him up, and we driving from his place. And I'm like, bro, I'm terrified. He was like, man, what are you scared of? What are you scared of? Man, you've been doing this for so long and this and this. I said, man, I don't want to mess up. He's like, bro, listen. He said, God has given you something very special. He said, play like nobody's listening. He said, just go into your world, go into your bag. He said, don't overanalyze it. He said, just go with your gut and do what you do. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. I went with my gut and I did what I did. And once I felt like I had it, I'm like, okay, I got it now. And I'm serious. It was one of the greatest performances of my life. And I will never, ever forget that moment.
I won't forget it. I'm like, what?
How many house heads, they either love you or they hate you.
Either or.
So they're gonna
like the Apollo.
They're gonna they're gonna cuss at you, or they're gonna throw tomatoes. What it's do?
Man, I thought the same man Sims was standing somewhere in the bushes up in the quad, with his big hook. He was gonna come and just snatch me off the stage. I'm like, I can't let the same man come out here on me. And so I just and then the fanciness of playing house music. It was such. I was so like stigmatized. Like house music is only supposed to be played and blended a certain way. Play 85% of the song, the last 16
Who said
bars.
that?
No, I'm just talking about from different people that I've talked to
I got you.
and listening to a lot of, and I'm like, but I'm just a little bit different, and I want to play house music my way. And DJ Spin, my brother, we had a conversation about that, and I said, I don't want to get too fancy with it, and I don't want to disrespect. He said, listen. He put his hand on my shoulder. He said, you are DJ Boobie. Play house music DJ Boobie's way.
Yep.
Play it your way. Nobody can rob you of your truth on how you're going to play this music. He said, I always do fancy, crazy stuff with music. And I get the crowd going because they're not used to hearing house music interpreted in that type of fashion. He said, do you? And I'm like, okay. And that conversation with him really gave me the nerve to just play it my way.
You have to be authentic.
And I like to do all kinds of crazy stuff, man. I do loops on the fly. I make a whole different. I do me.
You a thief, yo.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, you're traumatizing.
Yes.
I'm messing with you.
I'm truly. I can be truthfully honest. DJ Boobie is a pot of gumbo. I'm serious. I'm a little bit of you. I'm a little bit of Spin. I'm a little bit of Tons. I'm a little bit of Mike Crosby. I'm a little bit of Techniques. I'm a little bit of Frank Ski.
Charisma.
Man, the list just goes on and on and on. And so many of you guys have inspired me over the years. And so I just, I try to give it my all at all times. And once again, I got to thank God for this journey, man, because some of the things I've seen, some of the things I've done, I would have never, ever, ever been able to achieve this stuff without him.
Wait a minute, hold up. Y'all need to come on the dark side.
Where's that?
And play some polka music. I'm the only DJ.
Get out.
I'm the only polka DJ. I'm just
we will miss you, Tracy Stevens. Listen. So, let's talk about this. There's a political thing in house music, and I know you know what I mean. I mean that house heads believe that you know what, you got to be a purist to play for us. And you mentioned it, and you briefly doing it. So this topic is where you're all around DJ. Now I began as a all around DJ. Any real DJ that first start is an all around DJ.
Right, of course.
There was no such thing as a house DJ back in the day. It was like you could play some of it because there wasn't that many records. You had to know how to play Set It Off and Before That Go and these other records because you're playing for mixed people. You can't just play your own stuff.
Right.
So when I hear people say, well, he don't play house, I said, well, what is he playing? It's house. And now that you go to anywhere in Baltimore, especially in Baltimore, by the end of the night, it's house.
But I thought house is supposed to be a feeling.
Say it, come closer to the mic.
House is supposed to be a feeling.
It is.
So you can house anything.
Yeah, you sure can.
Well, no, and back in the day, there was a distinguish in politics. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's a politics. It's like, you know what, you really eloquently explained, you love house. So people think that because you play other genres, that you can't play house. And they're like, what do you mean? This guy has a resume longer than yours. It's like, you know what I mean, from house to everything else. And I never understood it. You know.
Even if you go to Chicago, they don't just play house. They play disco, too.
No. In Baltimore, if you play other genre, it has to be a gift to play trap and play, if somebody say, hey, can you play this kind of music? And you say, yes, I can do it, and I can do it well. Well, house heads believe that if you do anything other than house, then you're not a true house head, except for certain people. Right. Except for certain people. And it's the weirdest thing. I never understood that. I never understood it. Judge a person by the way they play house. Not what they do, even if you play polka music with Tracy, don't mean that you're not a house DJ. So tell me your perspective of it.
Yeah, and believe it or not, that dynamic, the politics of it, that was what invoked so much fear in me when I got a chance and opportunity to start playing for the quote unquote heads. I'm like, oh man, are they gonna throw eggs at me? Are they gonna like get them out of here? Or am I gonna just own this? And I decided, look, love me or hate me, I'm gonna own this moment, and I'm gonna make sure I play this music. I'm not gonna be an insult or show any type of disrespect to house music. I'm just gonna play house music my way. I'm gonna play it my way, and that's what I did. I started playing it my way, and I know a lot of people was like, I mean, even with the collective minds thing, I'm more than certain, man. There was people who said, oh, all they gonna play is Follow Me and Percolator.
Go ahead.
The dirty 30.
Yeah.
No. Right.
He's gonna play the Bucketheads.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, the dirty 30. I went in the bag on that, and I did some different stuff. I did my research, and I went through and I said, if they don't know that I can play house by now, they're gonna know by the time I finish this set.
Wow.
And once I played that Collective Minds, I was kind of like, that opened up like the floodgates. Like, okay, he's pretty okay with me.
Oh, was it? I mean, what year was that?
17.
So people out there on radio, like, go to YouTube and type in Collective Minds 2017, and you might see clips of it. It's just a magical moment. It was a magical moment for many reasons, to watch that, to change what people was thinking about it. Because over the years, people have tried to possess house. That's not right. You can't possess something that is a culmination, a melting pot of a lot of stuff.
Absolutely it is.
And you being a seasoned person, you come from way back from the record stores that helped make Baltimore what Baltimore is. So we're surrounded by some great producers and creative people, so we can't help but to learn from each other. We're like, you know what? So if we go to another state where we think we just okay, we are so much different, and they love us for it. It's like, wow, our people don't do that because they didn't have the Elbow Brothers we had next to us. They didn't have the Teddy Douglases and Wayne Davis, and they didn't have the Scotty D and Rod Lees, and they didn't have all of this beautiful melting pot of different kind of sounds to work with, So what's the future for Boobie? Tell me some of your aspirations.
Oh man, I got a whole lot of stuff going on. I got about 4 or 5 different irons in the fire. First of all, I'm a pop.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah. I can almost say I'm a super pop because I got number 8 on the way.
Wow.
You done caught up with me.
Yeah, I got number 8 coming.
Wait a minute, but hold up. Which one's going to be the DJ?
I don't know. Well, I'm thinking the littlest one that's in the tribe right now is 3.
Mm-hmm.
But, with our grandfather being DJ Boobie, and then her daddy is a DJ too. And so I honestly think she's going to be the one.
She's going to get that bug.
She's going to get that bug. Now, my oldest daughter, who is now a shock trauma surgical technician at University of Maryland.
Okay.
But she started DJing. And, of course, I was kind of like that football player that used to be the high school football star. And one of my kids began playing football. Now, all of a sudden, I'm reliving my dream through my kid. And I pushed her. And she was like, Daddy, I don't want to do it like that. And you got a huge pair of shoes to fill, and I don't want to fill them.
It's a new meaning of cutting and scratching. You get it? Surgical, cut, scratch.
Oh, I get it. Sometimes I don't, Tracy. Sometimes.
I'm just saying.
So between, the DJ thing is going to always be there, and I thank God for it. But now it's enabled me to do some other things. I'm an avid cook. I've been cooking for about 30 years.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I cook really heavy, and so now I'm starting a barbecue business, Anderson Flame and Flavor Barbecue.
What?
I already have 2. I have 2 big pull behind grills that I hooked to my truck.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready to start doing food, get ready to start doing pop-ups. And
so you could go to a party, serve the food, and spend.
Well, if I can get this patent passed on this cloning machine, you might see about 3 of me at the party. And Boobie's cooking, Boobie's talking on the mic, that Boobie's playing music.
All right.
So
you're doing a lot. Bro.
So I love the food thing. I'm also a graphic designer. I've been doing graphic design for about 30 plus. 30
really?
Years. Yeah.
Oh man, we got to talk because I'm ready to fire Tracy.
I don't do it as much as I used to because the scheduling, the time just.
It's hard. Man.
Yeah, it's
hard.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what's really happened to it. See, everything is being ran by AI. Now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's hard because you're competing against something that's computer generated.
Mm-hmm.
But by us being graphic designers, we can see all the flaws in it. Mm-hmm. And other people just like, I ain't have to pay that much for it.
So a computer got flaws?
A whole lot of them. All right, you can tell the difference between an AI image and something that somebody did because it's more humanized when you get it from a person. Mm-hmm. The other one, you'll see little things in their eyes, like their eyes are too close together. Whose chin actually points? Like somebody you can stab somebody. And different things where.
So Tracy, especially if are you saying they're going to replace you with a computer?
No, they're trying to, but they can't do what we do.
Yeah.
We're the ones.
That's what happened. You saying that's what's going on?
Well,
that's why I said it's
the
hard.
graphics. Yeah, I mean, with AI, everything is kind of like AI generated now. I mean, people that are graphic designers that really used to take their time and doing a graphic piece is almost like a piece of artwork.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you taking people off of one background, you put them in another background. You using the softness tool so it don't look like you cut out like by scissors.
Right.
You zoom in on everything, make sure every hair is masked out, and the computer's just saying, "Okay, I can do that."
Yep. And then it's like, yeah, well, why does this ear look bigger than that ear?
And sometimes, not all the time, Tracy.
It's like that a lot.
So Boobie, I mean, I'm going to parallel this with a controller. All right, you watch the controller come in. You watch it come in, and I think you started from, like everyone else, from vinyl.
Yeah.
To CDs.
Yep.
To Serato.
Yep.
To, what do you plan on now?
You
like to play on. I know you can play
right now. I mean, well, when I first made the transition from vinyl to a controller, I was anti-controller for so long. I said, listen, when I'm ready to get a controller, I'm going to get the biggest dog in the yard. So I started saving my money up, and I went on and got the biggest dog in the yard. I bought the Pioneer SZ, the biggest one. I bought the big one. I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I got that SZ, and I lost my mind on that SZ because I'm like, ooh, I could do this. Ooh, I could do that. I could do that. Well, I wonder how this will sound. That's, now they done created a monster. And so a lot of my magic within the past, how many years? How many years controllers been out there? It's been.
Let me think. I'm like 8, 9, because my first one was a little one that was before. But tell the DJs out here that are anti-controllers. Tell them what you really like about it.
Well, see, the bottom line is, I know there's a lot of OG DJs, a lot of old school guys that's really stuck in this time zone. You have to learn how to embrace the technology that's there.
Uh-huh.
I've heard the story like, oh, you're not really mixing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're cheating.
Oh yeah.
They got a sync button.
Oh yeah.
Like, shut up. As long as the music sounds good and those people are on the dance floor,
they don't care. They
do not matter what you are using.
Right.
And so with the birth of the controller, and now we have digital music opposed to vinyl. Man, do you know the things that you can do creatively?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, to make remixes right there on the fly.
On the spot.
Right there on the spot. Now, I had somebody say, man, hey, I hear you playing this remix of Latrice, I said, no, it's not a remix. I said, I just looped a part of it. I took the drums out with Serato stems, and I just manipulated between the 4 count and the 8 count, and they was like, man, you should just go ahead and make a track like that. And I did. But most of the time they was hearing it, I was just doing the loops on the fly.
I don't have that, bro.
I have a new folder. I just dropped a whole bunch of mashups on Bandcamp, so I haven't sent you a new folder yet. Okay. I'll make sure you get it.
So I'm going to reiterate you mind or what you're saying. It's like, okay, so the vinyl, it had its pluses. There's certain things you can do on vinyl that you could master, and it teaches you a lot about music if you started from vinyl.
Absolutely.
Now, if you are born past 1980, there's no need for you to go back to that. It's like, you know what? We now use a blowtorch to do stuff. Why would you go back to matches? You know what I mean? When you can come in.
Vinyl is coming back, especially 45.
People like playing with matches. Like, but it is something to vinyl. It's just very expensive.
Yeah.
You get, and it's a lot of stuff happening at parties. You know, needles jump, a whole bunch of stuff. You got to bring all this extra equipment. You got to do all this kind of stuff. It still has its pluses.
Yeah.
But you never hear a controller person say, "Yeah, you suck playing vinyl." It's not that. It's just someone's choice. It's like what you want to do. You're accustomed to hearing a blend a certain way. That vinyl is just going to limit you to do that.
Right.
Where on a controller, you could take on the fly, make a whole new mix. Because if you in Baltimore, we have to play what you might call the 30-30. We might have played the 30-50. That means I know what's going to make them scream. But I don't want to play it the way I've been playing it for 10 years.
Right.
So I'm going to play it different. I'm going to redo it different. And that's the beauty of control. To me, it's like, you know what? I can play my perspective of classic. Or I can make something totally new on the fly. Not everybody has the brains, the creativity to do that.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's not our fault. It's
no,
it's not our fault.
Okay, you are listening to Power 410. This is the Thommy Davis Show, where we're interviewing.
She wants you to say your name.
DJ Boobie.
And also, if they want to get to know more of your music or hire you or, for any of the things that you do, or even listen to you on the radio, how do they find you?
Well, I am on Magic 95.9 every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's summertime now, so 92Q Summer Madness mix is coming back now because they halted me because of football season. And so now Memorial Day weekend, we just did the mix. So now I have the green light to do the mix. So I'll be doing the mix on Sundays now from 12 noon to 3 p.m.
That's 3 hours.
3 hours.
Besides the other stuff you do?
Besides
So how can they contact you?
I still have a Vegas number because I'm still on radio in Vegas. I still conduct a lot of business in Vegas. So my number is 702-337-7863. Please, no spam calls.
Okay.
Don't try to sell me no car warranties or none of that kind of stuff.
And if they want to reach out to you on social media.
Social media. Mm-hmm. Okay. My real name is Keith Anderson on Facebook. I'm probably maxed out at 5,000, and I can honestly say Keith Anderson because my child support is at $0, so I don't owe nobody nothing. So I don't have to worry about the folks waiting downstairs for me. So it's Keith Anderson on Facebook. I also have a DJ Boobie fan page on Facebook. On Instagram is DJ Boobie _Be More. And on TikTok is DJ Boobie _Be More. Mm-hmm. And on Twitch is DJ Boobie Be More, no underscore.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Where did the name Boobie come from then?
Childhood nickname.
Who gave it to you?
My mom.
Oh, you was a little Boobie.
It's kind of like another interesting story. I don't know whether it's appropriate to talk about it on here.
This show is our show. Like, I don't have any sense.
Okay.
So, I want to know how you went from Special K to Boobie.
Right. Well, I mean, Boobie was always my nickname from my mom, but I asked my mom, like, well, Mom, where did Boobie come from? I said, I'm Keith. Where you get Boobie out of Keith? She said, well, when you was about 3 months old, you was a fat baby. She said, look at these pictures. I said, I was a little fat baby. She's like, well, everybody, all the ladies used to always come up to you and pinch your cheeks. Oh, can I hold him? Can I hold him? And they would pick me up, and I would take my little chubby fat hand and what's those things? And I would grab one and go to work. And so, hence, that's where Boobie came from. Because I used to always grab. Now, I thank God I don't do that as a grown man, because I'd probably be sitting in prison.
For those on in Radio Land, he grabbed a portion of the body. That's all you need to know.
Yes. No, you figured out. Boobie is an anatomy. So
right. They just dropped the S.
Wow. Okay.
Sometimes people forget we're on the radio.
So what made you switch from Special K?
Well, because Special K was kind of corny, to be honest with you.
At a period, everybody had that kind of name.
In the 80s, of course, everybody was cool. I had a little Special K name belt that I got from my mom. I'm not can't remember the story. But, that was the thing back then. But when I had the DJ business, my father was like, listen, your name is Boobie, and you DJ. That Special K is corny. Why don't you just change your name
Yo, Pop?
to DJ Boobie? The guy I had the DJ business with. He said, man, you should just call yourself DJ Boobie. I said, you serious? He said, yeah. He said, and it's catchy. I said, okay. And that's what I did. I changed it to DJ Boobie. Before I know it, caught on like wildfire. At 56, I'm still DJ Boobie. I'm sorry.
Wow. Have you ever shared that story? I never heard that story of how you got the name Boobie.
That's where it came from.
I wonder if Biscuit got it because he was always grabbing biscuits.
Possible.
Biscuit probably was bubbling fresh back in the day.
Yeah,
the Pillsbury don't. Well, yeah, I don't want to go there. Never mind.
I had a name. It was Mix. It was Mix because they was in Metro Star, and I had cassettes, and it said T-Mix. So people just cut it short, say, hey, what's up, Mix? And I was like, oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. But then they still say, Thommy. You see how they sing it in Baltimore? That's how they say it, Thommy. Mm-hmm. That's why I said, I forget it. It's kind of corny to have a name, and whatever. I said, I'm just going to keep it Thommy.
Right.
So, when you was first starting, who was your mentor? I mean, that somebody like, I want to be just like this person.
Well, the very first person that ever let me touch turntables ever in my neighborhood was old school triple OG DJ name. His nickname was Booster, but his DJ name was Slicky Woo. That was it. That was his name. Okay. He had turntables in his house. I was so fascinated about turntables and music, and my uncle was a real flashy dresser, so he used to pay me $10 every weekend to come in his bedroom and straighten out his shoes and straighten out his clothes. And I used to play his component set. I used to always get familiar with all the music from Roy Ayers to Hiroshima to Earth, Wind and Fire, Patti LaBelle, Peebo Bryson. The list goes on and on. So I'm getting this musical knowledge in my house, but 3 doors down, I got a real live DJ. They used to do parties and house parties and backyard parties and everything. And so me and him got cool. And of course, he was older than me. And he was like, he said, I notice every time you come down here, you looking at these turntables. He said, do you want to learn how to do this? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to learn how to do this.
You had that look.
Yeah. And so he started, teaching me the fundamentals. And of course, he was introducing me to all other music. He got me real acclimated to the whole Minneapolis sound, Prince and Tom and Jesse Johnson and all of them. Then he was teaching me about the Motown. Man, and like I said, that's where my vast musical knowledge comes from between him. So he was definitely one of my very first teachers. And then Sean Marshall used to live right down the street and around the corner from me.
Oh, it's in the water.
Yeah, yeah. So Sean and his mama Miss Gwen, they lived on Claymount. I lived on Lafayette, so I had Sean Marshall right down the street and around the corner, and then right across the street from there, Kenny K's dad used to live
What?
across the street from Sean Marshall. So I mean, I had a lot of DJs kind of like in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Frank Ski, I used to watch him faithfully, and this is before I had any juice in Baltimore. I used to stand in them long lines. I ain't always getting clubs free all the time. No, I was on look. I paid my little $10, and I got in at Festival Hall. There's 1,000 girls in there, and I'm standing there watching the DJ. I'm gonna be up there one day. So that was really like my real motivation. Frank taught me a lot. Frank gave me a chance and an opportunity to play for so many people. If you know how McDonald's, old school McDonald's sign used to say over 1 billion served.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, because of Frank Ski, I know that I played for at least 1 million kids, even if I combine the attendance. Because I used to I did Hammer Jacks for 10 years.
Wow.
I did Hammer Jacks.
I didn't even know
for
it
10
was
years.
open. Was it two different ones?
I'm talking about the one
over there where the stadium is
where
now.
the stadium parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
the one over the Austin Street Bridge.
I know you're talking about.
I know I played. If I was to combine the attendance of all the kids that came to Hammer Jacks between 1993 and like 2001, 2002, over 1 million at least. Even if it was the same kids, if I'm telling you, if you just counted it,
Yeah.
I played for over 1 million people.
You were, before this term was around, you were an influencer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people want that about a DJ. They think that the power. I want everybody to look up to me, but you know, most of the ones I know, like you're a real humble guy. I have never seen you stand aside and stand behind VIP ropes, and you'll come out from the rope and mingle with everyone.
I'm just a regular dude, man. I just so happen to have a love affair with music, and I love doing what I do. But you know, I pride myself on something my grandmother told me. My grandmother couldn't see it, and she caught me acting a little bit big-headed, and she pulled me up. Now, this is my mama's mom. She said, "Boy, come here." She said, "Listen." She said, I see you doing all that music stuff, and I see you on the radio and everything. She said, "Always remember this." She said, "I don't ever want you to forget this. It's very nice to be important, but it is more important to be nice."
Yep.
Wow, I like that. Yeah,
That's
she was
true.
wise.
She said, don't you ever forget that. And she said, and don't you ever act like you are bigger than anything or anybody. You stay humble. Yes, ma'am.
And if they don't like you, just beat them up.
That's shady. But shady's in the wrong.
So my grandmother dropped that big seed, and that seed it stays with me.
You know, it's kind of the first thing you learn. It's like, you know what, people, when you want power, so you first start acting like you have it because they'll give it to you because you walk like you have it, you talk like you have it, and then after you have it, some people just don't let it go. It's like you don't need that. You don't need it as a defense mechanism anymore.
It's very overrated.
Right.
I was great to say somebody's name, but I can't.
So no, you can't, Tracy.
I'll tell you all there.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's overrated, man. It's really overrated, and I've been running into people for like the past 20 years, and everybody has a DJ Boobie story of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you, I get humbled every time somebody gives me a DJ Boobie story. I mean, because they remember word for word. They remember what I was driving, what I was wearing, what year it was, what record I played, how many people screamed. I mean, they are so very detailed in it. And I think the greatest compliment that I received, I had somebody grab me and hug me and say, "Thank you for being the soundtrack to my young life."
Wow, that's awesome.
Let me tell you something. That means more than every penny that I've made playing this music. that statement alone mean more than all of that. And so that's what inspires me to stay humble and just keep on giving to the world. God gave me this tremendous gift. So I want to give it every chance I get. And, for a lot of people, I love to walk up to somebody and hug them and take a picture with them and have a conversation with them. A lot of times I'll have a conversation with them 10, 15 minutes into the conversation. And thank God I don't wear no big DJ Boobie chain like I used to. I don't wear that stuff no more. But they'll have a full-scale conversation with me. I will never mention who I am. And then somebody might walk by and, hey, DJ Boobie, hey, what's happening? And they'll be like, that's you. And I'm like, yeah. And they just, a lot of them just really like flip out and get kind of like starstruck. And I'm like, okay, we passed all that. We family now. And I just go ahead and give them a hug.
That's the hardest thing.
I just give them a hug to let them know, listen, I'm just a regular, ordinary person. It just so happens that I play music for a living and I do radio for a living and this is this. But when they talking to me, they talking to Keith. They not talking to DJ Boobie. DJ Boobie is what I do. Keith is who I am.
Wait a minute. Tracy's want to say something in my ear. Hold on.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So, a lot of people don't like that. I mean, I've been around for a long time. So when I go to a club, I have to hear and allow them to tell because it's not them. It's not like they're not telling me something. I was there. They know I was there, but they want to recount it back. Say, you remember when and you played this record? That's still my favorite record. And I have to allow that because to them, and it changes the perspective of, yeah, you still doing your little DJ thing. It's like, no. When I become the part where your memories is in your life is a story that you relate music to every point of it. This when I was in college. This is when I was here. This is when I was here. And you to be able to say, somebody come up to you and say what she said to you, the soundtrack of your life. You know what I mean? That is just the most powerful thing. Or, you know what? I was so down. You saved my life, man. It's like, something you just did. It just really.
And I had another brother, and this story, I was scared to death. I'm not even gonna lie. I just finished DJing a wedding at the Gala Center, and this was maybe about 10 years ago. And my cell phone had died, and there was still a couple working phone booths, believe it or not. So I grabbed some change. I called my lady at the time. Like, hey, listen, I just finished doing this wedding. I'm ready to come home. Did you need me to pick something up on the way home? And this big dude got out of his car and got on the phone booth right beside me. So I'm talking, and you know how you can feel somebody looking at you. I'm like, let me hurry up and get off this phone because I think this dude about to, pull a move on me. Yeah. I got money in my pocket. I got all this equipment in the car. I said, we're going to be out here fighting, And so as the minute I hung the phone up, I felt somebody grab me on the shoulder. So I'm like, this is a big dude. So I'm going to hit him in front of my car. And I don't have no, And so he was like, you DJ Boobie? I'm like, yeah. And I turned around. And this guy was huge. He had to be at least 6'3", maybe 6'4", close to 300 pounds. He reached his arms out like this for a hug. I'm like, okay. And I reached out and I hugged this guy. This guy hugged me and picked me up off the ground and swung me around like I was a toddler. I'm like, I don't like my feet off the ground, bro. Can you put my feet down, please? He swung me around like 2 times, right? I'm like, okay. He's like, man, you don't understand. He said, I just came home from prison 2 years ago. And he said, I wanted to kill myself. He said, I had a CO that was my cousin. And he said, the only thing that kept me from killing myself is that he used to come to Metro. And he used to buy your mixtapes. And he was the guy who used to always ask for your mixtapes and make sure you shrink wrap them. because we couldn't get him in prison.
Right,
Right. And so I remember that guy. He's like, man, if it wasn't for you, and he said, and I don't know if you remember, he said, but there's one time he asked you to give me a shout out, and you gave me a shout out, and he said, and I became like famous in the prison because DJ Boobie gave me a shout out on a mixtape. And he said, man, you don't understand. You saved my life when I was behind the wall. And I'm so thankful to be able to meet you in person. I just want to say thank you. And I'm like, man, I got my car. I think I cried for about 10 minutes.
I know, right? That. Tracy, give me a tissue.
I mean, I was totally shook because at first I was like, this guy's gonna rob me.
Yeah.
But now he gave me a great jewel, and he's like, man, you saved my life, and I'm like, wow. So, man, just this journey, like I was speaking about earlier, it's definitely a journey.
A purpose.
Man, God has really taught me some things, showed me some things, and gave me an incredible gift, man. And I never take it for granted. And I try to use what I have to I'm going to always give him his props, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for him, it wasn't me, and that's for sure.
Wow. So how long you plan on doing this little DJ thing? And I'm being sarcastic because that's where we started. This is where people are saying you still doing your little DJ thing. I mean, wait, because years later, after winning awards and records and stuff like this, I still look at them and they still say, you still doing they still say the little DJ thing. It's like, really?
They still want to downplay.
Isn't it interesting how people do that? Because people do that to me too. He's still doing, how's that training working out, man?
You can feel the derogatory sentiment over it.
The same thing for me. And my thing is, if it's so little, why can't you do it? I'm about to fly
but it's silent. It's silent. They'll say, you still doing your DJ thing? I can still hear that little.
Yeah.
I can still hear it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a form of secret loathing and envy and jealousy and mad because they're not you.
Yep.
They're mad because they are not you. They are mad because God didn't choose them for the gift that he gave me. Sometimes they'll size you up and be like, oh, how come he got it and I didn't get it?
A lot of that.
You know what?
But they block their own blessings being a hater.
You know what? People can't hate on you for doing something that you were born to do. And they were afraid to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's little to them, because you had enough guts. You had enough, I guess, what is it called? You have enough self-motivation. Self-confidence.
And courage.
To actually go out, do what you always love to do, get paid for it, and then have a long-lasting career in it.
Right.
Yeah.
They were afraid, and they can't stop. They can't hate on you because they were afraid. Mm-hmm. They need to look at themselves.
Yeah,
I mentioned this to my therapist. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I've been doing this now for July to be 10 years. And I've had quite a few times where it has not been easy. Like 1 minute, you can be the best thing since sliced bread to someone, and then the minute you are not doing something that is congruent to what they want you to do,
right,
then all of a sudden it's not that deep.
Exactly.
So I had to learn, first of all, not to overestimate my importance in other people's existence in this space, because when you're in the people pleasing business or the people helping business, it's real easy for one person to make a negative comment about something, but it's so hard to hear someone come back and tell you about the positive that you do.
Right.
So in that case, you can't look for outside validation. You have to truly, truly believe that in what you are doing, that what you are doing is making an impact to the people that are in front of you. So you can't. I had to learn that I couldn't worry about those that would tell me do whatever it is you want to do because it's not that deep. So okay, it's not that deep to you. Okay.
Right.
And I had to brush that off and learn that, okay, it's for me to really believe that I will find my tribe. And I did find my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, I don't like calling them haters.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah. Who has time to worry about
Right.
that?
Right.
Exactly.
And I see. I used to be a spring chicken, but now I'm an old turkey. And this skin is a whole lot tougher than it used to be.
Exactly.
But I had to, like Mary said, you have to learn how to, adjust. Sometimes you have to adjust your thinking. You have to adjust your mindset, and you have to deal with people differently. You got to be thankful for that cup being half full, and don't complain about it being half empty.
And sometimes some of those negative or derogatory statements, use that as a positive to keep you motivated and to push you forward.
That's what he said in the early part of it.
Yeah, it's like the motivation for me is them telling me what I could not be. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So listen, so my therapist explained it. He said, what you are, talking about to me, he said, you're what they thought was going to be a dreamer. And a lot of people don't chase their dreams. So to watch someone invest in a dream and make it makes them mad because they didn't. Everybody has a special thing they want to do. We just happen to be the ones to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. Win or lose, I'm going to go do it. A lot of people don't want to gamble at all.
Right. Let me tell you something. The best thing you can bet on in life is yourself.
Yep.
Because you control the narrative and you control the destiny, you control the outcome. So I'm going to always bet on me. I don't know about the Maryland lottery, 3-digit, 4-digit, the Powerball. I ain't trying to get rich from none of that. But the one thing I know I can bet on, and 9 out of 10 times I'm going to win, is on me. I'm going to bet on me.
And an amazing father that's favoring you. You know what I mean? He gave you these gifts. You know what I mean? A lot of people believe that the gifts they have, that they made them. It's like, you know what? That's really stupid. You know, the odds of you being that powerful to make your own destiny. No, something is on there. If you're going in the right path, it's kind of, you have a little favoritism. As a matter of fact, he don't like to lose. So he's going to push you, bang you in the head. He's going to do whatever he has to do to make you go down the path you're supposed to go down.
Right.
So, that is, I learned that a long time ago. And another important thing is, not everybody want to love you. They're not supposed to.
Exactly. You can be the sweetest peach in the bunch, but there's always going to be somebody that don't like peaches.
Yeah, right. I like that.
And see, with a lot of things that I do in life, I also had to learn this because, like you said about being in the people-pleasing business, I remember in my younger days, it was a cool thing. A lot of the guys in my neighborhood didn't have a car. When I first got my car, oh man, car used to be full. We riding down Hammer Jazz, everybody getting in on my coattail and they grab my records. They'll help me bring the records in the club to get in.
Go ahead.
End of the night, they go. And I got 3-4 bags of flight cases of records.
Right.
Just struggling putting the car. Thank God for the security guards. They were helping. Ooh, I got you, man. I'll help you. But just looking at all of that in hindsight, as you get older, your presence is a very valuable commodity.
Yep.
Your happiness and your peace of mind are 2 of the most precious jewels in your display case called life. And so at this point, what do you do with your valuables? So like you might have a beautiful ring, you may have some family heirlooms that your mama's mama and mama's mama passed down to you. And so you keep that stuff close. You keep it somewhere safe, like in a safe. You got to do the same thing with your peace and your happiness.
Yeah.
And you got to give people a chance to show you exactly who they are.
Yep.
Once they show you who they are,
believe
it.
You better believe it. And guess what? You will never get the same version of me that you got before.
Not at all.
You will get a very, very abbreviated portion of me. Abbreviated.
Yeah.
And look, it don't warrant me getting on Google and trying to find the perfect meme to go with my subliminal post that I'm gonna put on social media, talking about you. I'm like, look, check this out. It ain't about you, boo. You're not gonna occupy that type of space in my mind or in my heart. No,
it's not worth it.
No, it's not. You just showed me who you are. I believe it, and you just won't get that same version of me that you used to get. You got abbreviated. And as far as my circle is so small, I find myself talking to myself a lot. Because my circle is really that small. I know a lot of people. But my circle is very small. And another thing my mom always told me, she said, if you're going to be around people, be around the ones that's going to elevate you and not suffocate you.
Yep.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
The people around you should never bring you down. They should always lift you up.
And they should be a fan of seeing you win.
Yep.
Me, I am a big, huge fan of seeing people win. If it's somebody that I love, somebody I care about, and I see they got a new car, promotion on their job, got married, and they lost their mama, they lost their father, something like that, whether it's a great thing or a not so great thing. I'm old school. I'm picking up the phone.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you. I want you to hear the inflection of my voice to let you know how happy or how sad I am that something happened for you, whether it was good or whether it was bad. You know, on birthdays, I'm going to call you on your birthday.
Yeah.
Why spend 30 minutes on your phone looking for that one picture that you took with them 10 years ago?
No.
Why am I going to waste 30 minutes trying to find that picture when I can take 5 minutes, find your number, call you. Hey, boy, how you doing? Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday. I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. I love you. Have a great day. Phone call done. Now, the other 10 things I got to do, now I got time to do it.
So you better than me, man. That's a lot. As you say, we know a lot of people. There's no way that I can reach everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I just not. And so I kind of backed away from social media because people see you active here. And they said, but you didn't see what I said on your comment. I was like, I didn't. Oh, yeah, that's
social media is a blessing first.
Yeah. But it's important. We're in the age where it's the vehicle. It's the vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, at one
so
point,
we have to use it for what we can use it for. You know, but some people have too much. You know, they have too much time invested into it, and they put way too much into it.
When people say I don't, and this is just me, and I'm not being shady. When people say, well, I posted this on that post that you put out there.
Yeah.
Number one, I was like, more than likely I didn't post it. You know, people tag me and everything. And also, if I did post it and I didn't say anything to you, my apologies, because I'm so busy being social. I really don't need the media.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And people get it.
Hard. It's really hard.
Because it's really, really hard. You can't, like, it's only 24 hours in a day.
Right.
And you said something common. I think a lot, we've talked to a lot of people here, is that the bigger you get, the more private your circle is. Because you know that the negative energy will taint you. You know, we all have a light. Yeah. If I let dark in, I don't care how insignificant it is, it's just going to find a way to poison my light. It's going to do something. So like you said, I treasure my circle, even though they kind of shady. But you know, Murray and Greg and like, you know what? Because those people will be. If I say I got an Oscar, they be like, "Yo, congratulations," and really mean it.
Right.
You know, and they're gonna say, "Here go another award." I know you hear this. So like, that kind of stuff. It's like, why are y'all not lifting him up? Why are you comparing? And why are you saying, well, you got one more thing? Well, I hear people always do that. It's like, you know what? It's sad that our culture.
He be doing too much.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, you ain't doing enough.
Exactly.
Hey, you know, in Baltimore, we're not really a fan of people being different. You know, Baltimore is a clone city, so everybody strive to be like the person next to them. Mm-hmm. So when you're an enigma, they really find that as like, why you gotta be so different? You know, why can't you play like everybody else? You like you know, like no, because you don't strive for that. You strive for something different. You are now leading people. You've been an influence all your life, And people want to feel like, well, my cousin, he tried to do it, but he tried to call you and you ain't never let him play for you. It's like, I got one objective, and that's for me to survive. I can't carry your cousin.
Right.
Too.
Right.
So anything you want to say to the people out here, because we're ready to wrap this up, to any of the young brothers, or people that just say, hey, I wish I had done it. I know some people that went to college and did some other stuff, and then they said, you know what, I want to come back. I want to be a DJ. What can you tell them to encourage you?
Well, the music is the star. Period. Point blank. When you love the music and you play the music from the heart, all of that other stuff will come with it. If you play it well, the money will come, the business will come, the notoriety will come. But you have to stay true to the music. You got to open your mind. You got to network with people.
Mm-hmm.
You never be afraid to ask a question. My mother always taught me that dumb question is the one that you think about, but you don't ask.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it becomes something dumb, because if it was right there on the tip of your tongue, get it out there in the universe. It can make the difference in the outcome of whatever you're trying to accomplish in life. So the music is the number one star. Love it, play it from the heart, and everything else will fall into place. And in the grand scheme of things, whatever you do, whether you go to the third level or all the way up to the first level, just stay humble and be nice, be approachable.
There's some really, 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 really strong words. I mean, you know what I tell people? I say, you know what? Just do it one person at a time. Because you notice as a DJ, you'll say, why are my cousins not here? Why my neighbor didn't come out? And, I went to school with this person and they like to pay, but they don't come out. You get caught up in that. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
No, aim at the person you see in front of you. You know what I mean? The person in front of you, that person loves you. They came and paid to be in front of you. Focus on them.
And that's why sometimes you got to change the direction of your love. You can't love everybody.
No.
You got to love on the ones that's loving on you.
Whoop. There you go. Mary, you got any conclusions? What can you say to some other aspiring people that want to do a journey that's so influential as your story? Your story was really powerful.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there that need to hear, what are your tools? What you use? And what would you say to someone? What would you say to young Mary?
I would say if I knew that I would feel this good at the age that I am now, I would have took better care of myself when I was younger.
Okay, all right.
And the habits that you encompass now for your health, you are either making a deposit on your future health, or you are taking out a withdrawal and lowering your life expectancy. So take the time to take care of your health now. You're going to be, or you will be forced to deal with your illness. And once you do that, all the things that you think are problems are not going to be problems when the only problem that you have is worrying about your health. So take care of your health now.
Wow. Well, both of y'all, thank you. Tracy, you got any final words tonight? Here we go.
Yes,
Tracy,
I do have final words. All right, so I would have to say that there's so many blessings in this room. It's a shame. And if you did not download the app and hear it in stereo, then y'all missing out on some stuff. But anyway, thank you for just being you guys and being someone that I can strive to be. And thank you for all the blessings that God has given to you guys and letting all of us know about it. And those people out there in radio land, you can do it. Regardless of what age you are, you can do it. And it's 10 o'clock and y'all need to be in bed. It's 10 o'clock. What do you know where your children are?
Oh, I got one more thing. If you're doing something in the community, if you're doing something where you think other people need to know what you're doing and you want to come on this show, just hit us up. You know what I mean? If you want to sponsor the show, you say, hey, I want to advertise my restaurant, I want to do this, or my food truck, or my event. Hey, this is the perfect format for it. You know,
if the food is nasty, we don't want you.
There's Shady again. See, you know what? I just knew Shady had to have the last word. But that's the whole format. The whole idea is that this is going to keep bigger. Our numbers are incredible. They're getting bigger and bigger. So if you try to do something, come in now. Come in now while so you're on the ground floor, so that we can help your business. We can help your you got a child in ballet classes and you want people to come see or dance or something like this. Hey, I don't just make a difference how small it is. Does it not make a difference at all? You are important, and this station is not just about, I know the legendary Boobies and Mary Lewis and stuff like this, but you count too. Just hit us up.
Thank you. And again, you're listening to the Thommy Davis Show from 7:30 till 9:30 or until. And we had our special guest, Mary Lewis. How can they contact you, just in case one of your classes were open?
trainwithmary2@gmail.com. Any inquiries, send to that email address, or Facebook at Train with Mary, Instagram Train with Mary _LLC, TikTok Train with Mary.
Okay, and DJ Boobie, how can they get in contact with you or follow you?
Yes, you can reach me 702-337-7863, or you can send me an email, djboobie.booking, no S, BOOKING, @gmail.com. Social media, Keith Anderson is the regular Facebook page. DJ Boobie is the fan page. Instagram, DJ Boobie _B more. Twitch, DJ Boobie B more, no underscore. And TikTok, DJ Boobie _B more. And I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And Thommy, Tracy, thank you so much for having me.
Bro.
Truly blessed.
Bro. Thank you. All right, Tracy. I think that's it for us. And I yield back the floor. Yeah.
Okay. So again, thank you for listening to the Thommy Davis